Blessings, Divine Masters of Light. Yeah, thank you for being here today. It's such a pleasure and a blessing to connect with you today. So here we are at Horsetail Falls in Sweeter Park on New Hawk Nation land. And today we're going to talk about, are you hardwired to hope and despair around your magic awakening? So stay tuned. So are you hardwired to hope and despair around your magic awakening? Do you have thoughts of being a magician, but it's hardwired with despair? You're going to dismantle despair around your magic awakening. Thoughts hardwired to despair erode your magical abilities. So you must be magicians of the mind to conquer this future that is now on the precipice of your own life. Do you have thoughts of hoping to be a magician, but it's hardwired with despair? Insecurity, unhappiness, emotional distress, lack, suffering, martyr, victim, blamer, judge, fear, shame, failure, etc. That type of mindset erodes your magical abilities. The body will collapse underneath you. It will be diseased. You will be tired. You will fail as a magician in ways that you have created from despair, because when you don't create your day as a magician, the future will get you. And those who have said it, that's the way it works. So how long do we have to break the bonds of hope and despair around being magicians? Not very long. The whole application of training common people to be magicians, to train common people to be magicians of the mind, have an undominated will despite others against magicians. I don't care what others think of me. I'm doing this. That is an undominated will. How long do we have to train you to do that? Because you must be a magician, a magical magician of the mind, to conquer this future that is now on the precipice of your own life. It's not some far distant thing. It's here. How long do we have? So what aspect of you can we possibly teach so you can hold your attention long enough away from the limited voices in your head from writing limited programs together? I want you to observe something magical, unrestricted, abstractly, and just let your God self look at it. That rolls out your magical destiny. How long is your pause of suffering? How long do we get to pause on our path to enlightenment from our link of hope and our despair? Where can we pause that and get your focus going before despair has to kick in, because it's wired in there deeply? How long do I get to train you before the despair around you being a magician kicks in? When I inspire you to hope, the hope of being a magician, working magic that fires and wires together, it's not me, it's your hope that is inspiring. How long do I have to keep your attention before your despair kicks in? That we get your goddess to look at it and begin to disjoint, to dismantle despair by wiring hope, knowingness, and wiring the field of experience in your positive list. When we do that, we have begun the great work of dismantling the hope and despair link and putting it in this place of knowingness and freedom. Now we no longer hope with that which is termed the rebounding of despair attached. We know we are safe and taken care of, and you have stopped it. But how long do I get? How long of an attention span do you have before despair kicks in? Not very long, right? Especially with maybe TikTok, ADHD, unhealed emotional charge attention span. How long do I get, for you to focus on your magical being activated before the experiences of the last, past life, death, torture, pain comes back in again and kicks in that hope and despair link? How many windows do I have between those two that are wired together do we get to dispatch? And now that we get to put a new vision for the brain and mind in that breaks the neurological feedback. Do you have thoughts of hope of being a magician, but it's hardwired with despair, insecurity, unhappiness, emotional distress, lack, suffering, martyr, victim, blamer, judge, fear, shame, failure, etc.? That type of mindset erodes your magical abilities. The body will collapse underneath you, will be diseased, you'll be tired, and you will fail as a magician in ways that you have created from despair. Because when you don't create your day as a magician, the future will get you. And those who have said it, that's the way it works. So why are you in this body? Why are you here? And why are you predisposed to give up on awakening the unstoppable power of your magic? When it comes to you, you are predisposed to all emotions. You are predisposed to the link between hope and despair. You are predisposed to anger. You are predisposed to jealousy and envy. You are predisposed to self-destruction. You are predisposed to giving up. You are predisposed to usury. Are you predisposed to give up on awakening your high magic too? When you're predisposed to that, how is it that you got in this body? that bowl of life, these beautiful beings that are here. What brought you to that? Because the body is a reality. Its subsequent life is a gift, but also an opportunity from the God Goddess to come again and to wake up and to come again and to make right and to bring wisdom from thousands of years of incarnations that are genetically in your eyes, in your hair, in your skin, in your body, in your voice. They're immediate hardwired dispositions that you have innately come to the surface. It took thousands of years to mobilize that. So why are you in this body? Why are you predisposed to victim, martyr, blame, struggle, sadness, sorrow, and guilt, huh? Why are you predisposed to such sadness that you want to end your own life? Get me off this planet! And exile or hide yourself and awaken your magical powers just so you can escape the emotional suffering of it all, huh? Why? Why are you here, huh? For the God Goddess to come again, and for you to come again, and to own that, and to make right, and to pluck from this powerless journey the wisdom that allows the power to walk as I walk with you. Come again to awaken the soul power of your magic, your high magic, divine one. So be it to that. Alright, so Hebb's lost state. Nerve cells that fire together, wire together. Proposes that repeated simultaneous firing of neurons strengthens the connection between them, forming the basis for learning and memory. Hebb famously said that cells that fire together wire together. And more formally, any two cells or systems of cells that are repeatedly active at the same time will tend to become associated so that the activity in one facilitates activity in the other. As your brain fires repeatedly in the same manner, you reproduce in the same level of mind. In modern day, you give your power away at the most painful, difficult, and challenging of times around awakening your magic. That you, too many, be wearing the exoskeleton, the tissue, the blood, the genetics of your ancestors and parents who had hope and despair around awakening their magic, and wired those two together with shame and fear and dread and anxiety and panic and martyr and uncertainty about being a witch and awakening your magic, right? However, there is a moment when the light, love, and mysticism of God, Goddess of all that is, puts on hold, hope, and the Spirit separates them, and in that clear window, that natural state of joy, which is your natural state, divine ones, comes to the surface. You relax, time seizes, you remember your destiny, your calling, your purpose, and the meaning in your life, and you're not looking at your phone every second like you do when you are stressed and full of fear. And you feel excellent and sublime. Where did that come from? Because that is the natural state of what you are. And we're joy, that state of pleasant, magical blindness, right? We don't have to say that I feel really good with magic. So good it means that I do have hope around awakening my magic and know what to do with it. You don't have to say I feel really bad about my magic awakening. I know despair is coming. Those are deeper levels that one reaches in a self-pity and victim state for I can't awaken my magic. I don't know how. It's too difficult. What if I get killed? Get exiled? No one likes me. What if I hurt another? What if I'm too powerful? What will I do with this magical power? What if I fail? What if something goes wrong? Or what if something goes too good? What if I can't handle it? What if I sabotage it? But in that twilight of your magic awakening, there's a point where this beautiful light of remembering the defining moments of your magic awakening with you, that's the future. Yeah. Now on the seduction of this, there's that moment that people who are wired with hope and despair around awakening their magic, hardwired, they break that bond by getting relief from it when they procrastinate or do not take responsibility. You know? Play victim, self-pity, complain, give up, worry. Then that relief leads to addiction, to procrastination, and not taking responsibility for their gifts, their abilities, their knowledge, their wisdom, their attributes, or their spiritual powers. Because the addiction is you have a little negative self-talk today. Next week you will have more negative self-talk. And more, and then we go to deeper slices of the brain where we left the joy of awakening our magic, and now we are in the catastrophic abyss of why bother and just give up. And it won't work anyway. Limited despair thought. Huh? No wonder wiring causes you so much suffering today. It was the pain of your ancestors and parents around awakening their magic. What human beings do not want to do better in their life, right? What parent wanted to be good and therefore became tribal, and they were good, and they stayed in the context of the tribe, who had wars against healers and magicians, societal habits around exile magic and religious servitude, to follow that they would have a good life if they stayed away from so-called witchcraft and sorcery, and that someone up there was watching them, and that someone died for them so they could have a better life. They became hugely tribal and scared to awaken any magical abilities. Why are they doing that? They are trying to not have hope and despair. This is human emotions. Your parents are human beings. Every day of their life, they had to get up and survive in life and survive if they focus on being a magician, right? If they had magical powers or foresight and hindsight, they had to hide their gifts, magic and spiritual powers, and shame, guilt, fear, dread, had to get up in the body that they inherited as goddesses to transcend, to work on their inner demons, their inner pain of hope and despair. So unwiring the hardwire of hope and despair in your brain brings the unstoppable power of your magic back. So as you begin to grow and evolve, you now may have hardwiring layers of despair on awakening your magic, layering hardwiring of despair and the hardwiring of trying to do everything right begins to emotionally explode inside of you. It emotionally explodes because of the other programs inside of themselves that need to be looked at first. They become the voices in your head. They're the voices that become the rebels who break out of this and become free. Free from the voices such as, I can't awaken my magic, or you say, you can't awaken your magic, I'll be killed, or you can't do that because you'll be punished, or you'll be rejected, or exiled, or ostracized, or disciplined. No one will love you, no one will like you, no one wants to be your friend, you are nobody, you can't do that, no one cares about you. You're not as good as the other person, you can't ever move forward, too much competition, setbacks, fear, and failure. Why bother awakening my magical powers? They will be silenced anyways, or will be shamed for having them. You know the hard voices, the hardwired voices in your head. So try to create your day. Maybe you're like, I don't want to create my day because every day that I do try to create my day, I end up feeling like, what's the point anyways? Right? That's the program of despair around your magic and power. And these are examples of how you are wired and the complexities of how you got the personality that you are. Unwiring your pain in your brain from despair brings on the power of your magic back. And to get you to unwired is an entirely different approach, because right now all the power is in the reality of these fires together, wired together. That is where all your magical power is. And the subsequent reality, that's programmed to create. That's where your magical power is. That is where the power of your healing is actually in these despair programs. The power of your concentrated focus, your joy, your love, your bliss, and your magic is actually captured in these despair programs too. The power of your future is absolutely captured in the stress, the worry, the dread, the fear, the shame, and despair of the future. We end up saying, there is no future for me. Why bother anyways? Then Divine One, on the long journey towards awakening the full power of your unstoppable power of your magic is the dismantling of all of this fear, worry, stress, lack, dread, shame, pain, not adding to more despair. But the dismantling of despair is important because at every step of healing, you can't blame your circumstances on your mother or your father or your wife or your husband. Yes, you can trace it genetically to them, absolutely, to your mother and father, right? You're predisposed to it. That's why you're living it. And that's why it is in you. It is stockable, genetically, all these traits, yes. But you happen to be wearing the body that wires the despair of ancestral past. You are a product of your parents. Your body and your brain are hardwired from all the things that they felt and experienced around being magicians or healers or awake to their magic in this life or past life. To some, I make reality happen through healing, teaching, and activating. And to others, I have to bump them and push them into they run into their reality, and when they run into the reality, that perhaps is the greater teacher of them all, right? But you don't become wise in your reality until you have known to understand that you created it in the first place. If you go off blaming other people, then you are denied the reward and the richness that comes with the reality you just experienced. Instead, be in an absolute cool knowingness that the power is within you. This is the reality in you. And like the men and women who every moment of their day, what they think and what they are experiencing, are fired together and wired together. They have that loftiest thoughts, right? Of feeling the worst thing. Feeling and thinking work together. That hardwiring affects every day. Your position and how your DNA and the proposition of your seed fostering the next generation will change. So what am I saying? You are also a product of your parents. Your body and your brain are hardwired from all the things that they felt and experienced. The most subtle of realities, but that success as a magician or healer or map maker must follow failure, setbacks, downfalls, pain, despair. That's hardwired. That someone has a vision in their life of being a magician or healer, and your parents having hope every single day, and then looking at the reality of despair around them and become addicted to the despair of how tough it is and how nothing works out for them. They are all wired together. That's in their genes. They pass it to you. If your parents fear awakening their magic, then you will have wiring in the brain and your genes that link in hope and despair around you awakening your magic too, right? So now how about you? You are Enigma, and you come from the magical bliss of the void. This is what you need to learn in this lifetime. This is your body. You have to own that hope and despair of the same thing. The one has to suffer to have joy, magical powers, or be a great healer. All this is human emotion tied in with hope and human fantasies, all happening simultaneously in the brain, wired together, changing the DNA in your chromosome. If you don't heal or transform these limited genes, or hope, despair, or fear and despair around magic awakening, then if you decide to have a child, they too will be predisposed neurologically, genetically, and physically to having hope and following despair around their magic awakening. I am free of limited programming. I'm a rational, judging, and disbelieving mind around awakening my magic. If I continue doubting and disbelieving, I will close the door to unstoppable power of my magic, an unlimited mind and life. We are learning to be masters of our bodies. I am free of all limited programs, pain, setbacks, past life traumas, and hardships around being a magician. And my pain around past life trauma of being a magician and respect has diminished. That's the new program. I now awaken the many things I desire in my life. So be it. If it fits, so be it. So go over your list and read them to yourself. Do they fit well with you? Can you imagine each one of them? If you can add something that will help you from what you learned from my write-ups and videos, do so. If you find they are well, right, the way they are, then leave them, knowing now that you can imagine a magical life free of past life trauma around being a magician. Remember the value of this little mind that is something that you cannot figure out and you do not know how it's going to happen. So you need a different mind to work it for you. Make certain that you sit there trying to figure out. Take a look at how you have written them. All I want you to do is imagine. Imagining is a fulfillment of that desire, not the lack of how, when, or anxiety, just the fulfillment of that desire. Let's take, for example, the pain and the trauma around being a magician. On your list, I am free of past life pain or torture around being a magician. If you have pain around anywhere in your body as you say this, or discomfort anywhere, then you have a mind of trauma and pain attachment to that place. That's the reason it's giving you the charge. All tissue communicate with the brain electrically and chemically. So if you have a discomforting area around awakening your magic, then you have a mind attached to it. The way you assist yourself to overcome this is you do not try to see the past life pain, trauma, setback, hardship, etc. around being a magician. That would not be correct. In this state, what you do rather is you to be able to focus. All the wording should be, at this moment, my pain around past life trauma of being a magician in every respect has diminished. That way, the subconscious and unconscious mind will let you in because you are recognizing the pain. If you do not recognize the pain, it's not letting you in. Remember, it's the one that has the strong stranglehold on the brainstem. How do you imagine that from your list? You first imagine the pain of trauma, and then you start to imagine it like an echo that is loud at first. And then with every reverberation, it gets softer and softer. See the pain as a sound and take the sound as a shout to a whisper. And if you practice doing that in your imagination, you will correct the circuitry from your pain to that organ or that tissue or that part of your anatomy that needs help, and your brain will correct any malfunction in that body that has caused that. Whether by cognitive movement or incognitive movement, we are learning to be masters of our bodies and mind. That's how you do that. This is something you must read every day. Just read it and let it go through your mind gently and let it occupy your focus and go through the symbolism of living in the now every day. And that's the new program. That's how I dream. That's how you dream. Let it take hold. Now, given that I want you to add something else to your list, it doesn't have to be the pain. It can be anything based on what you have learned today. It may be something you realize. You can add it now. If you're going to break a habit of giving up, hiding, exiling yourself, giving up, making excuses, avoiding, running, blaming, fearful, scared, etc., you have to do it differently now. You have to imagine yourself going through a full day never acknowledging those self-destructive, self-sabotaging habits. You have to live a full day in that dream that does not include the habit. Remember, imagining is knowing this. It is the now. You are to imagine your magic as if it has already happened. Abundance means you are surrounded by things that bring you joy, that are on your body, in your hair, in your eyes, that you look at, that are beautiful, meaning coming into wholeness. You have to imagine your magic already there, and they must elicit from you a joy, because the force that will put them there is called abundance. Or it could be the opposite. It doesn't matter. You must live it as it has occurred, divine ones. So make a list of what you will do with your magic to assist humanity, and your magic will appear in the dream of your life. Also make a list of what you think and feel you're limited by. Just like the tree and hibernating bear dreams of spring, dream yourself captured at the moment. It's that which is the desire of your heart and your soul to awaken to your unstoppable power of your magic. But do not fret and worry about how your magic will come, for God Goddess's ways are mysterious and magical. If it did not come within the time frame that you have set, then you have closed the door on the opportunity. Be patient with the way things work in the ebbing flow of magic. Just allow and focus every day on your magic that is already activated. You're going to have to turn from the smaller mind you have been hiding in to the greater mind of the unstoppable power of your magic. You have determined reality through a smaller mind. You have determined your physical experience through a greater mind, right? This change from being small-minded to broad mind is going to have to take place. So much that the things you write about and that you dream about are so fulfilling to you that they will become incidental or liable to happen when they appear in your life. When that feeling has occurred that it is important to awaken your magic, you are on your way to a deeper mind of magic. Remember, truer depths can live off energy only. And how would they do that? They would never manifest the bread in front of them. They manifest the nutrients in them. They do it through their minds. So envision how you will assist humanity with your magic. Not focus on, I want my magic activated now. Focus on the nutrients of what you will do to assist humanity. I will use the unstoppable power of my magic to heal, to empower, and to assist during this great awakening. Now you have set in motion the manifestation to awaken the unstoppable power of your magic. Everything you want to be able to do, you will have the capacity to do. You want to awaken the unstoppable power of your magic? Then so it is. However, a rational, judging, disbelieving mind will close the door to the unstoppable power of your magic, unlimited mind, and light. Okay? Your intellect can be very dangerous in this process of awakening to high magic. It can rationalize all your gifts, abilities, wisdom, insights, knowledge, and spiritual powers away. And if you let it start running away with you, it will close the door to your magic. What do you have? A lead of intellect? That's all? You can't do anything. You won't manifest anything. Desire, or turn rock to gold through alchemy. You can't teleport or quantum jump your body to the chamber of the Great Crystal Pyramid. Or can't walk on water. Or you even can't heal yourself from all diseases because your intellect says it's impossible. Can't be done. I can't. Don't know how. I'm not ready. Too hard. Why me? Got the wrong person. I can't awaken my high magic. I tried but failed. Get me off this planet. I'll be killed anyway. So during this process of awakening your high magic, allow yourself the privilege of adventure and exploration. Allow yourself to live the magical, playful mind of God, Goddess of all that is. I don't need God, Goddess of all that is to participate and play in my playful mind magic, but I choose to, not as a pure choice, not as a choice of a last resort, but as a preference. I would love it. I prefer it. Likewise, God, Goddess of all that is, does not need me for their magic to work, but they invite me to participate. Will I show up, or will I say, it's impossible? Will I work with them because they would like me to, because it would be fun, fulfilled with pleasure, abundantly, so, filled with joy, bountifully so? Some things may take longer to come about because they have to move through layers of mind that have rejected such principles or don't believe in them at all. Perhaps this type of thinking lies in upbringing, religious training, social training, educational training, shaming. Perhaps you don't want to change your status quo, or perhaps encompass many complex things and beliefs. The way that you get over that is to keep it on your list, and every morning when you first awaken, I say to you, every morning, don't miss a day, bright and early, 4 a.m. for me each day, for the last many years. We go through the reverie of that list, just as I will teach all of you, powerful magicians, to do. As you're lying in bed, you can do this. It is that easy. As you go through the rational, judging, disbelieving mind list, and all the beautiful things you will do with your high magic list, because as the brain has been captured and made analogical, you bring in the dream analogically. You are capturing the substance of a tree in winter, or a bear dreaming of spring in the snowy chamber, or a squirrel in his burrow. Or you may sit up in bed one fine morning and focus on it, and then lay the list aside and go into a deep meditation or sleep. You just do it every day, and every day you're going to feel happy, joy, and a deeper love as you did today. And it's filled with energy and life, and you will do all of your work thoroughly and accurately. You will have energy all the end of the day, right? What if you did this for 7 days? Just work on your list and the dream of your magic activated. What dream to activate your high magic have you set in motion? You are dreaming the dream you're every day. Dreaming your magic activated is a dream you want to experience. It is ecstasy. And those who requested themselves in the world to do this long enough, they're the ones that have disappeared from the face of the earth. They're awakening and ascension. Some would go for prolonged days, but they were righteous and ready to do it. They were not fanatics. They could go for prolonged days of deep meditation. Let me ask you. I know that some of you would be able to do this. Very few, and perhaps not all of you, because some of you get way too bored and impatient, way too easily, and it shows. You couldn't do this for a day, but what if you do this for 7 days? It's worth the dream of awakening your magic. Yikes! I can't even do a full day. Now you're asking me to focus on my dream for 7 days? Yes I am. For there are some mighty beings that did that. Hold a vision and work on a dream for 7 days and would stay in that bliss, in that meditation. Right? And when they came out, the greater mind and unsolved power of their magic appeared in their reality. So now it would be a neglectful you, who is the receiver of these joys, not to do this. It doesn't mean leaving your family or kicking them out. It means insisting upon your truth, and that they revert and respect your moments of holiness and connecting to God Goddess. You only have to turn on a button or shift consciousness to connect. If they don't know how to do that, what are you doing with them? Who are they to judge what you know if they can't do it themselves? Isn't it true? I see it all the time. You get up and you do this every day, and you, the magician of this school, are going to change the consciousness of it. You will create such a magnetism here, and you will set the path for all those beginners who wonder where this is all leading to. You grow, you change, you experience, you learn to grow, and the next time we get together, you will be more powerful than the last time we were together. And that opens your mind and magic up, and perhaps to do more. You understand, to do more magic with a greater mindset. So what prevents the unstoppable power of your magic? Each test that comes your way is to test your virtue that comes from the soul. What was I endeavoring to tell you about the God Goddess within you? To become God Goddess is to become the mind of God Goddess and actualize it into your life and use all of its potential power and magic. And to be an immortal means to be able to capture that God Goddess mind, dream about magic daily. Invite God Goddess into reality to work magic and dance to the unstoppable power of magic. Your magic. Never allow yourself weakness, insecurity, and doubt around your magical abilities. I don't know. I can. It's too hard to live in your mind and being. Also, do not allow envy, prejudice, jealousy, hate, unhealthy anger, shame, guilt, fear, dread, hate, dishonesty, etc. Do not allow those things to live in your consciousness, in your magical self. Get rid of them immediately. They're preventing the kingdom of heaven from manifesting on top of power of your magic. Turn them around. Do not approach each day in dread, but instead embrace each magical day. What a day to be alive. Yes, I'll get to that. Each test that comes your way is to test your virtue that comes from the soul. Your soul will test your strength and courage. What is true for civilization isn't true for God Goddess. What is true for that which is termed society is not truth for God Goddess. What is important to little men is unimportant to God Goddess. Remember that. If man says your magic is woo-woo, and God Goddess says your magic is unstoppable, powerful to create your reality, then listen to God Goddess and not the woo-woo. No other. If you have difficulty in your relationship with God Goddess, put them on the list and love them, allow them, don't abandon them, allow them, love them, cherish them, etc. Rise above the current situation you are in. Get wings and fly above it. If you do, you will have a clear-sighted vision of your magical abilities with God Goddess. So fear to die, right? So the more you open the door to the unstoppable power, the more psychic and sensitive you're going to become, and the more you're going to be able to perceive what others can't or even know. Okay? So it's your ignorant, arrogant, naive, judgmental, or victim attitude that will close the door of these greater realities that are going to come about because you may judge everything. The reason why you got up and left the unstoppable power of your ability was judgment, or victim, or blamer, or struggler, or martyr, or mindset, instead of being the master of the light you are destined to become. I am needed and valued here mindset, right? So be it. If you master the dream of your reality, you open the door to the unstoppable power of your magic. And keeping it open for the great magician being behind the door. Projecting the dream and allowing the dream to dissolve into its pool of your mind. The more you are capable of doing this, shifting from a judgmental victim mind to an unstoppable power mindset, the more fantastic the dreams you're going to have, and the more fantastic the reality you will create. Yeah. Magicians, this is how you create reality. This is what makes you preservable. Who's going to preserve you, the master you. But how you do that is that you have to be, and you must be, the creator of your own destiny and reality through conscious awareness. The list you write up on what you want to change in your life maps your new life. When all of these limited beliefs, attitudes, and patterns of destructive behavior, things have to come to pass, you're going to upgrade that list as well. You're going to add to your list a new upgrade list of the magical powers you want to awaken after you cleanse, shift, and heal all your weaknesses around magic and your unstoppable power, and going to dig them out of you because they inhibit your greatness and they inhibit the unstoppable power of your magic. Fools are the ones who give up and who hold on to their small little self and limited victim mindset. Get rid of your limited programs around awakening your high magic. Let them go. If you're lazy, you put on your list, and then put on your list, I am full of energy. I do my work swiftly, completely, and thoroughly. Add that to the list, and I assure you that in a matter of hours, you'll be inclined to do everything amazing and wonderful. Everything you want to do or be able to do, you will have the capacity to do. You just have to get your victim mindset and mentality out of your way. Unlock your greatness, Divine One. The more you open the door to the unstoppable power of your magic, the more psychic sensitive, right, and empathic you are going to become. The more you open the door to your unstoppable self, the more you're going to be able to perceive what others can't hear or see. You will be able to know what others can't know because you have access to the deeper mind. That the deeper mind is a dream state, and the dream state creates reality. The more you focus on dreaming, preparing your list, and creating reality, the greater unstoppable power of your magic will grow. Woo! You don't get a pass on this life because you're a good and well-behaved boy or girl and somehow get a free ticket to float away without any effort on your own. That isn't the way it works here on this earth plane, Divine One. You get a ticket to activate and float away with your magic when you have the neurological connection to do so, because it controls everything. You see, the brain computer runs on an electromagnetic field of what fires together, wires together. Okay? So how are we going to make fabulous magical magicians when the day we create has the experience that wires it? They create a ripple effect. When they wire together, they fire together. If you say the words and your body doubts them, that gets wired in the brain, or ineffective by doing it because you have to. You are saying, I have always been magically powerful. Over here, you are thinking about, why can't I activate my full power? Why is it so difficult to activate or unstop the power of my magic? And when will I activate magic? It's unfair. I don't have it activated yet. Why me? Why is it so hard? If it just had my power, I could help more people. Or what if I hurt someone with my power? What if I do more worse than good? What if the power corrupts me? What if I fail? You're thinking about the unstoppable power of your magic is wired with failure. What fires together, wires together. Your magical ability is now translated to lack. Don't want it. Can't handle it. Scary. I can't. I'll be killed. I'll be attacked. So the more that you create your day, when you really get serious about it, and you want the unstoppable power of your magic activated, also day that everything is taken away from you. How does that work? Because they were wired to fire reality exactly like that. How many understand that? I touched my power, but then I lost it. My limited programs. When we take the unstoppable power of our magic back, little by little, we then take full responsibility for our life. And then we are those who understand that fires together, wires together. We have come to this earth magical. We were here before in our magical power. We are here now with our magical powers. And we will come again with our magical powers. So be it. That is an indelible power. And that the unforgettable power made this life. And that is where the power should come back to. Your power shouldn't rest on anything out there. It should rest squarely on that if this is your life and I am doing it. And when that happens, the bonds get broken and the power comes back. And all kinds, empowering emotionally, some incident, losing life, just losing is taking it away. And it will take it away, take it back, take credit for it, and let it stand. And all of the unstoppable power of your magic comes back to you. Break the bond of hope and despair around your magic awakening, and then be determined to wire freedom, grace, love, bliss, joy, harmony, excitement, etc. around the unstoppable power of your magic awakening. Now that's where the term masterful magician comes in. You have to be a master magician of your inclinations to behavior or habit. Magicians focus on your power of concentration and discipline to create the dream without the need to disrupt the dream. Some of you who are in this long, prolonged semi-darkness, dimly light twilight became a little agitated and hard to get up, then move, and spent unusual time running to the latrine, hobbies or other jobs and tasks, playing video games, addictions, etc. You created that as an excuse to get out of what you're doing because you were breaking your concentration and your surrender. This is the difference between a student in the school and the common person on the street. The common person on the street has not learned the ability to focus or even how to do long focus and the strength of will and divine will. You have to have those to do this. First, you have to have those qualities and discipline in yourself to dream the dream of your magic awakening. And the same as the ancient tree dreaming all the winter for new life and growth in the spring. You have to dream this in mind when dreaming of the unstoppable power of your magic awakening. That's where the term master magician comes in. You have to be a master magician of your inclinations to behavior or habit. You have to be a master magician over surface level consciousness, all the way down to the subconscious and unconscious, and how the brain functions in those levels of consciousness. Some of you did not have the power of discipline, and I want you to understand that here and now, as an advanced student in the school, is what you need to work on. You need to add to that, to your list, right? That your power of concentration and discipline increases as you engage in awakening and solid power of your magic. What that means is your ability to move into twilight, into alpha, and to create the magician's dream without the need to disturb the dream. I will dream of the unstoppable power of your magic awakening. To your magic awakening. So be it. Do not fret over the wiring of the past because we are going to change that. You want to chop the knot around hope and despair of awakening the unstoppable power of your magic. You see, we want you to make progress here, but it wears off because you don't stay dedicated. You refuse to become a gladiator or a magician because you don't want to, or you're too scared to, or don't know how, or don't have time, or you're too skeptical. After inspiration wears off, you don't have enough in you to inspire you to be free of hope and despair around your magic awakening. Maybe because you're still afraid. That's why this school lasts so long. And there is the danger that you have heard it all. And when you hear it all, what is your experience with that? is that you didn't do it all. So you have heard it. Your experience is that you didn't do it. So you read more and watched more, and you think the coursing field is this and don't do it right. You read more and watch more, go to events, and you think you are going to do this. I already know about the coursing field, so you don't do it. The coursing field can carry healing information and magic through vacuum orders of magnitude faster than the speed of light. So many knots tied up in that study of the star of spirit is begin to untangle those and untangle them within the time you have permitted is to do before the next reaction or thought. Your chase kicks in before you go to sleep or before it past your dinner hour, before you get too bored because you're not doing something. You think living life is going out and doing something. You can do nothing if you like. Just be and not always do. You will be greater for it. Now, how do we approach this hope and despair knot in your coursing field? Where do we go? What do I have to get your attention that you're not already wired and thinking you already know the answer, or you've done it already, or I don't have hope and despair linked around my magic awakening, Chris? How do we work this, my beloved people? It's important because the future is here now. All these years then, the greatest spiritual journey that didn't require you to go to the top of a mountain. It didn't require you to go to the foreign country like Thailand or India. It just required you to come to a very common place, read the work, my daily teachings, watch my daily videos, and assist you in healing through my one-on-one healing sessions. That minimal and extraordinary ability shows all of you what is possible through my teachings. I am my teaching. I want to teach you about how the God Goddess has returned, and it's time to awaken your magic. What is possible in you and how to be is there for the taking. The journey is within because it is the knot, but it will take a conqueror to break the knot. It will take a magician or a gladiator of magic to fight for the new freedom from hope and despair around your magic awakening. And when you are that powerful, now the future is flexible to that power regardless if it is a plane of the standard cue for the rest of the world is different for you because you can transcend time. Let's chop it in half, this hope and despair knot. Rather than the tedious untying after a powerful healing session with me, you will not be able to find the knot. You will have chopped it precisely and beautifully. Because now, only when you understand it in this context do I appeal to your spirit to help the process of breaking the bonds. What fires experience together bonds together, and when we do that, we heal because we are not stuck in hope and despair anymore. We have only the future. We are not disrupted in our sleep because we have come again, and we will leave and come again, and we are immortal. Do not fret over the hope and despair wiring of the past because we will change that. Yes, you awaken the unstoppable power of your magic, right? Are you ready, divine ones? Are you ready to heal? If you are drawn to these teachings and desire to transform recessive genetic traits and limited neural links of hope and despair around being a magician, healer, map maker, etc., that have fired and wired limited characteristics, beliefs, fears, shame, hope, and despair together, please feel free to contact me for a powerful, life-changing healing session. So dismantle despair around your magic and awakening. Thoughts hardwired to despair erode your magical abilities. You must be magicians of the mind to conquer this creature that is now on the precipice of your own life. I affirm, I know my magic is valid, that I am enough, that I am valued and needed, and I know the magic I have access to will assist all who seek me during this great awakening of the unstoppable power of our magic. So be it for that. Thank you for listening to me today. This is Chris Parr, Syrian and Lemurian, listening to people.